Hi, Bertaux's hint for Chapter 1. This one will be on the definition of economics. The usual definition given for economics is the neoclassical one that you see here, and it goes something like this. There's variations on it, but this idea of, economics is the study of allocating scarce resources in the context of unlimited wants and needs. Those are the key features that accompany the neoclassical definition, this idea of the allocation problem, scarce resources, and unlimited wants and needs. We're going to look at the book's definition, which we'll see is a little bit different. So we will go to the next slide for that. Here we have the book's definition, and we see that there's a little different emphasis here. We have economics as the study of, again, how human beings coordinate their wants and desires. So it's the study of how human beings coordinate their wants and desires. And then there's a given a lot of things about society, decision-making mechanisms, social customs, and political realities. So there's a lot here about society, given various social structural elements. So that's a little bit different. I would argue probably a broader definition than the neoclassical one that we just looked at. And we'll go to the next slide now. Here we have my own definition of economics, which is pretty closely related to the book's. It is that economics is a social science, just to be clear about that, that examines how people meet their material needs and wants in the context of physical scarcity, by which I mean finite planet issues. There's only so much fossil fuels, there's only so much stocks of minerals, there are particular ecosystems that we have to work with here that we can't create new ones. So that's what I mean by physical scarcity. Notice that neither my definition nor the book's talks about unlimited wants and desires. We talk about material needs and wants here, and the last slide talked about also something about needs and desires, or needs and wants. So I want to show you another slide that relates to this idea of whether needs and wants are unlimited. So we'll go to the next slide. I think you all know who this is, Gandhi, and I'm going to give you a little assignment to do an internet search on image Gandhi's possessions at death, something like that. His name is spelled Gandhi, and you will find a very interesting photograph that has an incredibly small number of items that were all of his earthly possessions at the time of his death. His spectacles and sandals you see him wearing here in this photo. Also a prayer book, a couple of cooking items, just an incredibly small number of things that he owned. So I always ask students, so this was a very poor man, right? And we say, well, he wouldn't have thought so, and he was highly educated and very accomplished, and his contributions to society were enormous. So it challenges our viewpoints about what is rich and what is poor, and also our viewpoints on unlimited needs and wants. Clearly, Gandhi controlled his needs and wants in a way that many societies do not. So I find this a very interesting exercise in thinking about, are our needs and wants truly unlimited as we assume in the neoclassical definition, or are they sociologically, culturally determined, and also to some degree individually determined by how we wish to live our lives? So I've got one more slide here on the definition of economics, so you can move now. Here we see a very interesting definition of economics from the deceased economist Milton Friedman, who, upon attending a panel at a conference on what is economics, entertaining all these different definitions and what they had to recommend them, the various definitions, came up with something very simple. Economics is what economists do. And if you do an internet search for the any of the major associations like the AEA, the American Economics Association, and you look at a program from a recent national conference, you'll see an incredible variety of work that ranges from highly quantitative to completely qualitative, and broaches an incredible range of subject matter. So I guess he meant that a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but we will end with that. And by the way, if you want to know what you should say on a test as to the definition of economics, we will stick with the book for purposes of exams. But I thought you would enjoy this overview of different definitions of economics. And that's it.